On we go to the other two teams in Southern California. Let's talk Dodgers and let's talk about the Angels situation. The Dodgers have signed 7. Now they got 10 guys that are off the roster from a year ago, but what they've replaced them with is not equal to what they lost. That's a big issue. Now the Angels have really gone through some changes, and the Angels have added 11 players overall. I'm just fascinated with the chemistry of what Angel baseball is going to be. Let's start first of all with the Dodgers. We had talked extensively about losing Tyler Anderson. We talked about what happened when they decided not to offer Bellinger and he's gone. Then Justin Turner just signed with the Boston Red Sox. So the Dodgers have really moved a lot of guys off the roster. Obviously, the first one to leave was Trey Turner going to Philadelphia. But the Dodgers just signed J.D. Martinez, the Boston Red Sox DH. So he's going to come in. He can play a little bit in the field, but he's probably going to be more of a full-time designated hitter. And when you look at the rest of the Dodger roster or the Dodger acquisitions, it's just kind of unique. Jason Hayward's got a lot of miles on him. Maybe he'll be a super utility outfielder. Maybe he finds himself at Dodger Stadium. He's had a couple of real down cycle years. Here's what I think's going on at Dodger Stadium. They're getting below the luxury tax. You know, they're at one point they were $100 million in budget space because of all the guys that were exiting. I don't know what they're going to be like this year because they're going to ask 5 young players to make this next step from Oklahoma City and actually be contributors at the major league level. And they're renting the J.D. Martinez's of the world. Dodgers are preparing to make a run at Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, yeah.
Big time run. And I think that's why they're doing all this from a financial standpoint, is to get below the luxury tax threshold, have all this wealth, and go to the front of the line because we're the Dodgers, 4 million fans, history, legacy, including great players from the Pacific Rim. Come play for us, Mr. Ohtani. I think that's what's going on at Dodger Stadium. The Angels, it's a unique chemistry blend, and they're getting the kind of guys that grind. They're getting the kind of guys, John, who will play for the manager. And who is Phil Nevin? A grinder.
Yeah, big time.
It's going to be really interesting to see what the chemistry is like. But they go get Hunter Renfroe, and now they get Brandon Drury, and those two guys are gamers and grinders. And they added Tyler Anderson, who reinvented himself as a starting pitcher. They've gone into the marketplace and gotten 2 relief pitchers, Carlos Estevez, whom I'm surprised that Colorado allowed to get away. So I think the Angels' chemistry experiment is very different. And if they can keep Trout and Rendon and Ohtani on the field and healthy, and they traded for Gino Urshela, who's another grinder who wants to play, multi-position guy, a shortstop, third base. They keep all those guys on the field. Angels might be a heck of a lot better than anybody realizes. Your turn.
Okay, well, the Angels are in a really tough division. We got the Astros, you got the Rangers with Bochy and DeGrom.
In Seattle.
And Seattle is much improved. The A's are still down at the bottom of the list, but the Angels, I agree. I love Phil Nevin. I mean, I got to know him. I met him a few times here in town. I'm rooting for him. And to see them actually putting these pieces together is wonderful. But what the Dodgers are doing, at first, I thought they were clearing space to make room for Judge. But yeah, maybe it is Ohtani. This reminds me of what the Lakers did when they were clearing space to get Shaq, in the late 90s. So these teams, they've got to kind of maneuver and they've got to play their game to get in the right position.